Dream, which was like,
Yeah,
you know.
You can't count that. But in terms of day 2, which was the meat of their week, it wasn't as good as day 1.
No, it wasn't. They struggled, right? They struggled heavily versus Gambit, which is kind of be expected. Gambit looking real sharp, and then versus Forward, they also struggled. So, yeah, OG, they definitely need to crispen things up, and that's what you're talking about, if people kind of figuring out Topson a little bit in particular. Or just, at least for me, is figuring out more of just, not even just Topson, it's Monkey King. I've been seeing a lot of people just, this Monkey King always wants to cut waves, and he jumps in and he just dies. And I'm just like, I feel like I saw that 6 games in a row now.
Yep.
Where people just have learned the position.
And you kind of did, because that's how many times they've played it here.
Oh, cool.
They've played it exactly 6 times.
You've seen more and more teams running like this escort quest Dota, where they're going back and they're escorting their creep waves to prevent this kind of cutting. I wanted to elaborate on something that Blitz brought up earlier. The idea that, so Aster has picked Mushi's hero 10 out of 10 times in the last position in their draft, so he always gets the last pick. Interestingly, OG, though, is at the other end of that spectrum completely. They've actually last picked Jerax's hero in 6 out of their 10 drafts, and that's very, very unusual. That's actually more unusual relative to the norm in this meta than what Aster has done with Mushi.
What drives that, do you think? Is it they're looking at the 4 position thinking Jerax is our playmaker, he's the one that's going to get things started, or is it just a coincidence?
I think other than Secret, OG is looking at it as we have the massive advantage at the 4 position against every other team at this event.
Okay.
I think it might also more be because they pick the heroes that they like to pick are like these really flexible cores that you don't necessarily have to like all in on. Like Monkey King doesn't really lose matchups. It's the same thing like when Secret takes Kunkka, they ban the OD, then Kunkka doesn't really have bad matchups, so you're okay with taking those heroes. Whereas like most teams don't really have that. Like Topson's heroes don't really have straight up, they never really get hard countered that hard in the lane, so it's not that necessary for them. Whereas like teams like Aster, I think, put more of a premium on picking their mid hero last because they probably are like, well, whatever our other heroes are, we want to make sure that Mushi gets these heroes. Like I don't really see him play these like Monkey Kings and Kunkkas himself, and so it's a bit different because his heroes have always been these like later game kind of like single target cores, these Razors, these SFs, these Necros. These heroes need good matchups to succeed in games like this.
Yep, I 100% agree.
I'm glad he brought that up.
I was going to say about the flexibility, because I look at Aster, they open up with their picks, and you're like, they can't actually be flexible with these picks. It's not like you can be like, haha. Like, well, you can. It's like, haha, mid-shaman. But we've seen that, of course, you know, like, be not good.
I'm glad they brought that up because that's 5 out of the 10 drafts for Aster. They've opened dual support.
Yep.
And that's actually very, very rare because of the importance of flex value in these drafts right now.
Yep, we've seen a lot of different flexible drafts coming out of most of the teams, slightly less flexible from Team Aster. Just hearing that the lobby is still imminently going to be in position for this first draft of the day. So again, thanks for your patience out there. And as we head towards that one, no need to change really, Alan, as far as Aster are concerned, specifically with that last pick.
Yeah, I think Mushi has certainly delivered, especially in the last couple of games. You saw what he did on Razor. You saw what he did on the Necrophos in that game, where Necrophos is just, so far what we've seen anyway in this patch, I haven't gotten to pick through all the MDL replays, but Necrophos has not looked like a hero. And he sure made it look like one against Complexity. Granted, it was kind of the finishing power that they needed against a Timbersaw and a Morphling. But still, I think they've used that pick very well for him, and he's delivered.
Mm-hmm. So you think second pick's more important for them, right?
I think second pick for Aster is a very big deal.
Yep. Agreed.
What have we not seen that you thought you might see? I think I can probably guess one of them, but
you can guess mine.
I can guess yours for sure.
All right, now I need to know.
It's gonna be Tomny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we'd see it at least. I can't believe we haven't even seen it. I still don't know if it's good.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not on the hype train. You're on the intrigued train.
Exactly.
I want to see whether it is as good as we theory crafted that we think it could be.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times when there's something like that in Pro Dota that we all kind of expect to see as a mini cheese strat and we haven't seen yet, it's because teams have tried it in scrims and couldn't figure out how to lane it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think my 3 I would put was, I'm of course going to put ET, 100%. I think ET. Omni, Nyx, and ET were probably the big 3. And Nyx is starting to show.
Yep.
Just all these little buffs. That's just what happens, right? Just little tiny things.
It helps.
Change everything.
It helps him probably the most too that the tri-lane meta is a little bit more back.
Yeah.
Because I think this hero benefits from straight on tri-lanes more than almost any other forward position, because he independently he doesn't really deal damage, and independently it's hard to set up his stun. But when you have some Rubik or some kind of hero like that that can lead the way for you first, then you get the stun off, then it's really strong. And then in the 3-on-3 situation, your Spike Carapace becomes even more value. So when you initiate, you're that frontliner for your team, you pop Spike Carapace, it makes the enemy team kind of hesitate. It sort of resets the situation for you. I think that's how I've used it, how I've seen it used the most successfully anyways.
Yeah.
There are 17 heroes that haven't been picked. Amongst them, Abaddon, Alchemist, AA, Arc Warden. We could potentially get an Arc Warden, I guess.
If EG was here, we definitely
yeah.
would.
Well, there's a Secret as well, don't forget.
Yep. Secret and Fnatic do play it.
Axe, Brood, Gyro, Ogre, Pudge, Ricky, Sniper. No, I'm getting into some really weird ones.
Gyro's like, Io's not in Captain's
Sniper
Mode,
has
so-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sniper has-
Io's not Captain's Mode, so Gyro doesn't even get in the game. Spirit Breaker, Techies, Tinker, Venge.
Yeah. Venge we saw at least once at MBL.
Yeah.
That
Wind
maybe ran
Ranger.
at safe lane.
Wind Ranger.
We saw a bunch.
Which we did see at the major,
Yep.
and has been played an awful lot by a certain Weehaw. And Wraith King. I can't remember the last time I saw a Wraith King game.
You're just really trying hard to get teams to pick Wind Ranger and Jakiro, aren't you, Paul?
No, I would say don't pick Jakiro, do pick Wind Ranger.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, you heard that right. The Jakiro fanboy says don't play Jakiro right now.
Well, if we're talking about
really
heroes,
hard.
the
It's really hard right now.
the two heroes, other than Shadow Shaman, who's kind of shot up to #1 most picked, the two heroes that have really sort of made their case in this tournament are Pango and Ember. Pango is
Yeah,
11
sure.
and 3
Yeah.
in 14
A lot of that
games.
is down to Ice.
Well, no, actually not.
No?
That's a trend that started developing in the major and minor qualifiers, and what we saw is this hero is now a viable mid,
Yeah.
and that really is a huge bullet in the gun for
But
that
he's still
hero.
a phenomenal offlane Pango, though.
Well,
Yeah,
in the
he's-
hands of an Ice or a Zai.
Yeah.
Right. I think otherwise he's still subject to being punished.
Lucky
The other
shot
hero
is
though is Ember.
insane.
Yeah, Ember's been fantastic here.
Ember is 13 and 5 at this tournament, and he's one of the strongest. I think he was up to, the last I checked for the patch overall, he was up to 34 and 17. He's looked really good. I'm sorry, 37 and 14. He's looked really good.
Such a mobile carry, right? And now it's like the new build. You're not this like magic little damage, the constant damage. You actually do it so much now with your
Right.
slights because everyone's going this like 2-4-2 build. So each of your slights they punch, and you always actually are. You're a carry hero that also adds an incredible value of catch to your lineup. That I've been seeing a lot of these lineups this have terrible reach and catch, and then he just gives you so much extra, so your supports just feel so much better.
Yeah, it's been a prominent pick actually amongst OGs, successful picks as well.
ILTWs look great, and I'm glad Fog mentioned Slight, because it felt like the last time that we saw like Slight focused Ember in the meta, you had to wait for that hero to get a Battle Fury before it did anything, and it feels like you can now go Slight focused Ember and you're not totally relying on that Battle Fury anymore, which is cool.
We've also had 5 others that haven't been picked but have been banned. Amongst those, Venos received 5 bans during this tournament, not been played a single time. Treant, that's the other one I thought we might see.
Yeah, nice.
It's had 2 bans. no
Damage
picks.
block buff to living armor, right?
Yeah.
Earthshaker hasn't been seen yet. It's had 1 ban. TA's had a ban, but then TA always gets at least 1 ban in every event because there's always a counter for him. And Omni Knight has had 1 ban, no picks.
Yeah, I still think before the end of the, it's pretty obvious, right, that Secret did the same thing at CQ. If they're try-harding at this event, their hero pool was very, very narrow earlier in the event, and then all of a sudden just blew up as the playoffs went on, including a 4-position Lina in the grand final. So I think we could probably expect the same in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a few more surprises before the end of Sunday afternoon when we'll crown another ESL 1 Katowice champion. Now, just a reminder for you as well, if you are just joining us, Team Secret are on the hunt for some history here at ESL 1. They are attempting to become only the 2nd team in history to win 3 ESL 1 titles, and only the 2nd team in history to win back-to-back ESL 1 titles after claiming the championship in Hamburg late last year. Of course, Virtus Pro are the current holders. They have 3 titles to their name. Team Secret have 2. They've also appeared in more finals than any other team right now. They've had 4 ESL 1 finals from the last 12 ESL 1s for Dota 2. That's quite a record, Alan, isn't it?
Yep.
4 grand finals from Team Secret.
I mean, we have seen some of the best editions of Secret play at these tournaments, including back in 2015. Interesting though, as you look at these bans, OG, if you go back, all of their first pick heroes are banned except Monkey King, Enchantress. There you go.
I knew it. Yeah, it had to be the Ench. It's the no-tail hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what you want to open up with. Lane secure, you don't really get much information from it. You know they're going to play something like this on no-tail, so it's just...
This is their other bit. This was their classic open,
like,
right? I mean, I think they've used this 3 times in this event. It does give away their 2 supports. I think you're very vulnerable to being countered, but they feel like they really want to protect those core matchups.
Interesting Ember ban, first phase. We talked about it a lot.
I think
OTW's been fantastic on it.
That hero right now for me is if that hero gets through the first phase, I am clicking that ban button as fast as I can, and I think you're going to see as the patch goes on, more and more first phase Ember bans.
Right. First phase troll. I think that's the first time we've had a first phase troll in this tournament.
It's a nice way to deal with, I think, both the heroes. Yep. You get a BKB, he kills the tombstone really quickly, and more importantly, like neither of these heroes pressure him very hard. And I don't think he'll really care about getting roamed on. Like, I think right now this troll's probably going to have a free game.
Yeah. He's also
before we came here, by the way, that was ILTW's most played.
Yes, and they were first picking it for him, but that was in the minor qualifiers. I believe it's Gambit that is first pick troll. I want to say because there have been 4 of them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe off the stream because I don't think we've seen any on the main stream.
This could even still be kind of flex, right? It's still
I agree.
So. But yeah, it's great versus both of these, tombstone wards. You can deal with both.
This feels very game plan so far, Will.
Yeah,
as if like OG have gone. Okay, look, if we go first, if they ban Chen and Prophet, then we take Ench, and if we take Ench, they probably play 2 supports, and if they take their classic Shaman Undying, then we have to go troll.
And the way that draft practice usually works is you at least try to work out the first situation. So
so it's the 3 bans and the first 2 picks, right?
So normally what ended up happening on our previous teams is like you think, okay, with 3. Well, back then it was 2 bans, but you think, okay, what are the 2 most likely that we pick? Because obviously there's patterns in Dota, like, okay, they'll keep picking this and this, and then it becomes likely what their responses are. Like, oh, in this tournament, when they see this hero, they pick this. And that's just how teams understand Dota, right? Like, our understanding of Dota is that this hero counters this hero. And so for OG, they probably ran through a few scenarios in which they either get Ench, Coddle, or Ember, and then from there it becomes easier to play. Then the next set of bans and picks are a little bit more flexible, and it becomes a little bit more obvious. Like Aster banning the Monkey King, second phase, I think.
And the Drow.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, Will, if you do draft practice in terms of 3 bans, you know that the other team are only going to ban 3, so you do 4 lots of practice, and you're definitely going to get one of them.
You probably do like 6, realistically, and then you have a really good idea of how the draft's going to work out, and then from there it's just like, were our ideas actually correct? That's why best of 3s are always really fun, because the first game matters so much, because that's the one that you've
studied.
Exactly. The second, and almost nobody I know practices that deep for the second and third game, because you're going to adjust based on this. Like, you could very easily see OG, if they get stomped by the Shaman, they'll think to themselves, okay, now we have to ban the Shaman now. This will now open up this hero, and then it becomes there's too many branching scenarios for them to go through. So really what you're doing is you're just working out this first game, making sure, okay, our ideas about the game are better than yours, at least in this very first one.
Okay, Legion Commander gets its 7th game here at ESL 1 Katowice.
Comfort hero for XXS.
I think OG are definitely looking at Magnus here as one alternative. They've used him in drafts with Troll a couple of times. You look back, they've also run some Slardar.
Yep.
And of course, Enigma is one of their.
That's the one that I was looking at a little bit, but
I think Aster, the way that they open drafts is really, I'd say, interesting, just because I think giving up your 2 support heroes like this early on, this should be punishable, right?
Yeah. And it's not, absolutely. And the weird thing is they don't necessarily use flexible.
That's the
supports either. So it's not like they make the other team guess whether they're going to be supports. They're literally straight up supports.
Oh, that is a very good Oracle pick.
Yeah, it really is. The hard save against the LC.
Hard save against LC, and even you disarm him in the duel.
Yeah,
you disarm the LC, and then you can guarantee win yourself the duel. The most of those times you add a lot of damage as well.
Now, the one wrinkle it adds is is that going to be the Jerax or the no-tail hero? That's Jerax Oracle?
Jerax, yeah.
Okay.
I think also OG are probably waiting to pick their mid a little bit later than they normally do, because they know that Aster represents supports early on, so they're trying to get them to bait first, because I think being able to pick the troll second here, it's really nice. Like, you know that neither of those heroes are really going to pressure you in lane. You're probably not too worried. And then it allows you to pick your mid and your off lane a little bit later. So guaranteed now, at least Seb is going to be able to see what his carry matchup is. So
and you really have to do that.
Yeah,
you have to leverage that. Sorry to cut in, because again, the second pick record, second pick being so dominant so far at this tournament, you know with second pick, especially with Aster, that they're going to save that to get the favorable matchup mid with the 10th pick overall. So you have to exploit the fact that you're going to have the 8th overall pick here in the second phase and get that favorable carry matchup.
Who do they want versus the troll? Okay, that will be their solution. So elusive, there's not really the craziest disables. Fortune Zen's can be a bit annoying to play against, but
can't you pressure that? It's it's Undying Morph.
Yeah, I feel like that's, well,
Undying's pretty beefy. Undying's pretty beast in the lane, but
he is
a hero that's always the big concern, right? Is if they just put this like dual pressure lane versus you, and you're just always sitting so low. So I mean, you're gonna pick some pressure hero from Matt here.
Like some Ursa or Batrider, I feel like wouldn't be bad. And then you just kind of run at the Undying together. Like Morph can't really do anything in these early levels.
Not crazy about that.
I thought that would be the third pick, but the Oracle, as you guys said, was just great overall.
They did this in their game against Forward as well, where they picked, was it the same situation? I think they had Ember last time as their mid, but they had Mag, Troll. It was the game where they were just kiting them nonstop, yeah. Tiny and Coddle were their other two heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
So you start to go down Topson's hero pool, and a lot of the big heroes for Topson are already taken out with the Monkey King and the Ember Spirit. Invoker has just not felt like a hero. Only 6 games this patch, and the only win was Jerax playing it on support.
How's Mag do, by the way, against Undying? Does he care?
I think he cares.
That's why I was suggesting like the Bat or the, what was the other one? Like Ursa, because I feel like you can at least fight the Undying there.
I'm just scared of the Bat because there's the LC already in the game.
That's true. It's like the purge is annoying, but I just meant like I would like to pressure this lane as much as possible. But I guess this is like the VP thing, right? Like Mag Troll is just, you farm so fast.
Mag Troll, you have team fight guaranteed pretty much. I mean, Aster already, they have like meh team fight, right? It's the Undying and the Shadow Shaman who are their team fight. OGs is just like, if you get caught in the RP, you don't have a save. You have the LC who can save.
I think when they did the strat though, it was ILTW was playing the Ember and it was a mid Troll.
Yeah.
So I think we're down to ODSF Quap for Aster, and I think for OG.
I actually liked OD for OG, but I don't know if he'll play it. I think it's actually
Topson
amazing.
really does not play it very much.
What about PL for OG?
PL got banned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Topson's got 2 games on it in the last 2 patches, only 1-1. I mean, I hesitate to even suggest that they could bring back the. Oh, there you go. I wanted to see this.
So would you think about taking something like OD now if you're Aster?
Oh yeah.
Because it's real nice against Troll too.
Yeah.
I think OD is the ODSF Quap. Again, it's just what does Mushi think he can dominate that matchup with? Because if you take away Topson's mid game, OG just hasn't felt like a team.
Love OD.
TI.
I love OD versus Oracle and Troll.
Yeah,
I agree.
You just during the false promise, you put him under. It's the same thing for Troll. He's in his battle trance. You just put him under. You walk away from him. He can just die from the finishing damage.
I think if they, I'm going to go ahead and say, I think if they take OD in this draft, I really like this Aster draft.
Yeah, I'm just worried a little bit about the lane, the Morphling. That's probably the only thing for me, but.
Yep. I don't know. The thing is, like when we've seen Morphling so far in this tournament, it's always been against teams that have this big finishing power. I don't know that OD has this. Okay, that's fine too. That's fine too.
That's interesting.
They are very short-ranged. All 5 of their heroes are like less than 400 or 450 attack range pretty much on Aster.
It sets up Topson for some absolutely crazy combos if he can get out of that laning phase, but I think Tiny is... I don't know that they have that big roaming threat. I think Tiny could really win that lane.
Okay, let's get some predictions very quickly. Fogged.
Oh, do I go for an Invoker?
Do you go against an Invoker?
You know what? I'm actually going to go for it because it's Topson playing the Invoker too, and I think he's going to do some cool strat. I think he might do some like really playmaking thing. Maybe we might see the Meteor Hammer come back, so.
Okay. All right, Will?
I'll go with Aster. I feel good about their chances. I think the Tiny pick will potentially set the pace.
Okay, I feel like you're memeing me, but okay.
Now, if you are betting on this game, you bet Aster, because I think numbers-wise. But Invoker's been my favorite Dota 2 hero since I started playing the game. All in.
All right. Okay. All right. That's it's fairly inconclusive. Let's just put it like that on the analysis. But I'm not surprised because that was a mixed-up, muddled-up draft. Let's see how it all shakes out. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats for game number 1.
ESL 1 Katowice, we get to kick off with OG versus Aster, our first game in the main arena. I'm Toby1, I'm here with the amazing Keeping It Kyle. How you doing, man? You liking a drop? You liking a Thompson Invoker? We're liking Seb Magnus? We're liking Team Fight.
Yeah, OG kind of just throwback. You know, we won TI with this, let's run it again.
Sounds good, but at the same time, you look towards the other side. Aster coming through. There's a lot of huge name players here. Mushi, they're standing as well. The last man to always get his hero, and they gave him time to wrap up their lineup. But it looks like they've got a lot of burst, a lot of control, a lot of flexibility as well in their timings.
I was really surprised by OG's decision to first ban Razor. Aster's the only team. They have last picked their mid.
Needs one more hit to kill him, and he will not be able to do so. So running to the north, it's No Tail. Retreating from Aster, so even though OG's smoke broke as Aster stay on the hillside, they still willingly ran into that. And now Aster will smoke themselves.
They're going to find No Tail.
As if he comes close enough. Is that initiation you wanted? I think that was what you're kind of running, right? Like you're looking for the Tiny's influence in the game?
Well, they don't have the weird thing. The reason the smoke is weird is they actually have no disables. Baboka went Ether Shock, so what's the play here?
Just zone out the runes? Be the easier thing.
That way, I don't believe that they're going to know that ward is placed just because Fenrir is still smoked. However, it's pinged. Okay. They figured it out.
They're smart people. They'll know about this. So let's actually look at some of the other stuff. So we started, like the Magnus is really nice. The Thompson Invoker. There was a lot of different options we were discussing. Maybe OD would have been a really nice grab for them as well against the Morphling. How is Thompson's Invoker meant to function in this game with the early boss he's built? Like,
I have no idea.
Is he meant to be an influencer? Like,
I don't think that's possible to analyze. Like, we've seen him do everything from, I've watched him play just the standard Quaswex. I've watched him play Quaswex with Meteor Hammer. I've seen him go Wex Exort. I've seen the standard Quas Exort, you know, farm with Forges and spam Sunstrikes. He could be buying Midas. He could be going Treads. Drums. Like, there's so many different ways to play this hero, which is one of the reasons it's been a staple in the scene for so long, and it's always entertaining to watch.
I think you're covering almost every single base. It looks like the runes will actually split 3-1 as OG were able to claim both the bottom runes. XSS backed off the lane.
It's nice too because Oracle is a really high burst damage support, but his stun is kind of, you know, it's not a real stun, right? But at least it locks you in place to set up for the Sunstrike. One of the best heroes at doing so. You can set up a lot of really cool combinations. I think you actually probably solo kill the Rasta this entire game just as Oracle with a Sunstrike.
Jirax and Baboka get to have fun inside the jungle. I think Jirax is just trying to be more of a pain. He's TPing down to the shrine on top. So away from the Shaman with Boots looking for his own rotation, and No Tail's presence will be starting on the bottom lane against XSS. So no aggressive maneuver from OG to that safe lane of Aster.
Yeah, I really like what Aster is doing here. Baboka's job, he went Boots first just to shut down Jerax from doing that off-lane pull that he is attempting even so. And this allows the Undying, the strongest level 1 support in Dota, to just zone this mag and give Morphling the free farm. We've seen VP do this all the time for Ramses, where if you can give Morph a couple of Wraith Bands, level 3, level 4, he's now in a position where 1v1, he'll get every single CS and deny. And then you can look to move around and rotate.
That's actually how they get the first blood. The Dire Observer. I was wondering if Baboka really wanted to attack and reveal its position, but this makes it worth it.
Yep. It's really well done. And LC down bottom is going to be pressured, but it's not as bad as other 2-on-1 matchups we've seen in this tournament. He should be at least able to maintain a presence in the lane.
Unless he can actually get the stomp off. No-tail baits to begin with. XSS is still trying to retreat back out. Do you dare say doing it left, right, and center? But XSS will be fine back underneath his own tier 1 tower.
That was well played by No-tail, though, to play very aggressive because there were multiple creep waves pushing into tower, still are. He wants, and you lose a full creep wave on XXS now because he was pushed out. It's good from XXS as well, though, because you want this lane to push so that you can actually pressure with the creep wave and get that farm and XP.
This is actually so fun watching Baboka moving across the map. Seb's running away from Fenrir. In fact, he's a little problematic when he gets hit by so many decays. But Baboka's just moving from lane to lane. He picks up the Arcane Rune. These boots have just paid off so much.
Yep.
He's now trying to get No-tail off XSS.
Now, this is working out very well for Aster, though. I know it's only a minor creep differential, but you check out the Morphling. 13-14 has not missed a CS yet, save the one melee creep. And this means that he can just man up against this Magnus 1v1, and eventually he'll have 2 Wraith Bands on the courier.
Seems like the dream. XSS may be in a little bit of trouble, caught inside the trees on bottom lane, as they will get the range axes off as well. XSS starting his own retreat back out with the press of the attack. He's got the movement speed and the regen just to back the hell out of this.
Yeah, I think he's going to run to base. I would have preferred to see him TP back and run, but this is really well done by Baboka, as you said, because he's pulling this creep wave away. Yeah, you missed 2 CS, but it covers the Legion Commander's long trek back to base, which is a huge time waster this early in the game.
Seems so difficult for No-tail to stop him too.
Yeah. Is he actually going to take this mid?
It looks like it. Right, one way to buff up Mushi,
No,
but he's
he's going to take it all the way in front of the tier 3. It's going to be there just in time to meet the creep wave.
This is what we call the scenic route.
I thought you were going to go with Pied Piper.
Pied Piper? That just makes this rat Dota.
And LC's going to actually go up in the lane. You can see there's 2 creep waves now, so he'll be able to get full XP off that initial wave. Top, still just total dominance by Sylar. Seb having trouble getting next to anything. And mid as well, probably the matchup we want to look at.
The Invoker going 15-2 against the 14-7, where everyone's so equal, as well as Sylar getting a large amount of farm. Like, I've cast Sylar for a very long time, and when you give him momentum like this, Fenrir trouble. Not enough trouble to kill him off. In fact, Fenrir's regen. No, there's another nuke available from Jirax. With the base damage, he gets through too. And Fenrir goes down, 1-1 on the board. But it does feel like you're feeding a beast that is just Sylar himself, not even just the hero Morphling who can be unkillable.
Yeah. I do think that the game will favor OG if they can maintain equality, just as the game scales, simply because they have so much damage amplification to give to the ILTW troll. You have a lot of lockdown on Aster, but you're going to have a difficult time protecting the Shadow Shaman against so much burst that can come out from the side OG.
Jirax was holding up the wave on the top lane, while Shaman did everything he could, Baboka, to keep XSS alive. And we're hitting that 5-minute mark, so the rune contest will begin. It doesn't look like, at least for the first time in a while, we haven't seen a big fight over the 5-minute bounty runes.
Oh, coming in mid though, Baboka.
Oh, can they actually? Yeah. Well, they're going to do it. Baboka wraps around the back. He still doesn't have level 3, so he has to body block up Thompson to get the control. Thompson will take care of this. Tornado turns around, catching both Mushi and Baboka.
I like how he had time to chat wheel before casting Tornado.
This is OG.
This is Thompson.
Like, we actually need to have OG versus Fnatic just so we can see the chat wheel first.
Accelerate. If they get an early blink up on LC, they start getting towers mowed down by the Frost Awards.
XSS is going to be in a little bit of trouble if they can keep this damage flying in, but then again, press the attack so good. Dire will fortify, allowing their tower to stay alive on bottom, not to mention allowing this push on top, but both sides ended up burning it too. Baboka looking for Seb inside the trees while this bottom push is happening. Finally, they're going to find him. Hex up, no shackles, but it won't matter. They drop the tombstone. Seb will get the skewer back, creates a little bit of space underneath the tier 1 tower. But XSS won't die, and it'll be a straight tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade-off. That works in favor of Aster.
Yeah, and it's all about Baboka's levels, and he already has Arcanes up. He's level 3. He's going to probably look to take over, do that against the roaming potential of OG.
I'm loving this aggression. Like, you attack him with Jirax and Thompson on mid lane, forcing Baboka to react and keep Mushi alive. Now, Mushi will be able to survive through this. The Tornado EMP is only going to hurt Baboka at this point. They can't find the kill on him just yet, but they've got him down low. But it's buying the space for this Enchantress to do her work with that stolen catapult. They're beating into the tier 2 towers. What I thought was a 1-1 trade-off is definitely not the case.
Yep, and the big part of that is because they actually got an aggro glyph off. Their tier 1 tower died. That refreshes the cooldown. And OG, you give these guys resources, they're going to spend them immediately, and that gives them a bonus 400, 500 damage on that tier 2 really early. I mean, that was a 6-minute 30 push when that began. That's crazy.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You're only 7 minutes, 20 seconds into this game, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, tier 2 tower is almost about to fall. Mushi trying to run around the EMP. Jirax is there to make sure that Mushi can't get right on top of Thompson. Fenrir, okay, they got the toss back, but Boca was waiting for it. Hex is out, and Thompson, he'll go in. But did anybody bring detection? They did not.
What about no point in shackles, Baboka? Really? If you're going to play for this tossback, I feel like you want to definitely go 1-1-1.
It's like he's going almost like that Zeus-style build. Like, I'm just running around with Black Lightning and going to spam in the lane.
I understand you get obviously 3 targets instead of the 1, but it's only a 60 damage increase. Whereas the 1-point wonder of your shackles, nearly 3 seconds of disable would have guaranteed that kill.
No tell. He just try and cause some problems for Sylar. He's been way too free on this top lane. Sylar's the first man to crack the 4K net worth mark.
I think the panel even brought up, Aster do have a distinct lack of team fight, and the Tiny really doesn't solve that problem. It's a lane dominator and a rotator more than anything else, but he's already 700 net worth behind Thompson. Not really getting enough done, I don't feel, to get the momentum that I think Aster needs to actually reach their win condition. Morph will have a very difficult time surviving against Troll Invoker as the game continues.
Unless he can be completely OP with this mid. That gank really needed to work from Aster. They needed to relieve the pressure and slow down Invoker. It's a 4-null talisman Invoker.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that one coming.
And now got the urn as well. So it is Katowice. He went 3 and 4.
This is a pretty soft or slow game thus far, but neither team really have the tools to make things happen just yet. The levels on the supports of Aster are just too low to really look to dive anywhere. And their primary initiation Tiny's running around with boots, as is LC. It's not as if they can get things done. It's also very difficult to rotate onto an Invoker's lane.
Fenrir, he's in real trouble underneath his own tower, but that's the reason why Aster TPing in more support. Mushi's already there. They'll drop down the tombstone, hoping for a kill. Mushi just has to toss Baboka forward. Now, that's a level 4 Shadow Shaman. So he's got Hex, he's got Shackles, he's got Eat the Shock, and Jirax even dueled up. So welcome to a winner, plus 10 damage into the Legion Commander.
They got him for sure. Thompson, is he going to be able to secure the runes? Okay, they get 3 runes out of the exchange, OG does. Oh no, sorry, only yeah, they get 3.
You're going to watch that Espada line, right? So it makes you second guess.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of rotating that close to the 10-minute mark. Yeah, Aster got the kill, but for the first time, OG take a slight lead in this game in the net worth differential. Those bounty rings just worth 350 gold, I want to say, each for your side. So probably just worth.
Aster can find their money if they can just keep the lanes pushed on bottom lane. This is the catapult wave. No-Tell did his thing already, and he's stolen the dire catapult in mid.
Ooh, gotta be careful on these ancients. Seb got way too low for my liking.
Had to tank long enough so Troll Warlock could do it, because Troll Warlock doesn't have any lifesteal. There's no Vlad's pickup.
He does have a Yasha already finished, though. ILTW is certainly accelerating. They might...
They're starting up a tornado, and she's going to get rid of that quickly. He needs the movement speed to ensure he can walk away.
That's cool. They've actually moved Thompson towards top. Something OG does very well as a squad is recognizing where their cores need to be playing. And you'll often see the Katowice of Thompson always moving into the aggro lane because he just pressures Sylar so much.
Wow, Fenrir. Jirax doing the work, just coming in from the side. Nuked him down, instant control with the Fortunes, and there's Seb. It is a double RP. Follow-up taking some time. Thompson now will complete the TP, but the Tornado EMP comes way too late. Baboka even giving him the tip. It's like, you know what? If you're 1 second earlier, that may have been good.
Yeah, curious also, I want to point out Sylar's build. Have we seen Morphlings do this yet in Dota? Drums, masks, rushing E-Blade afterwards? I don't think I've seen Drums morph yet in this tournament.
I guess
it's weird.
What's it meant to achieve?
Not sure.
We'll give you some time to think about it.
Meanwhile, I love the little things that make No-Tail such a great Dota player. He's just got a wolf right-clicked on his Troll Warlord. It's 30% bonus damage. Imagine a level 4 Venge just following this troll around. That's the damage increase. And in the event he continues pushing, farming, it's just, your troll's now farming 30% faster.
Thompson, he's got nothing to really gain from this. He can burn off the mana of the Shadow Shaman, but with XSS sitting behind him, press the attack was going to make sure that Baboka can get away safely. And they can shrine up if they want to.
Is under attack.
You've already got a little bit lower mana on Morphling.
I feel like a stagnant game has got to be favoring OG, just based on how quickly they can all clear creep waves. Especially when you think about heroes like Tiny, like LC, they need to be finding kills to stay relevant. They're both rushing Blink Dagger, but I fear that they'll have to use them. Like, this is the downside of buying Blink in the new patch, where if you aren't immediately able to find kill after kill after kill, the side that's investing simply in economy, just farming up, it's like, it's marine rushing instead of building another base. Like, you will be penalized for this action if you don't just make tons and tons of moves and kill Roche at a certain point.
Yeah. Actually, just really cannot believe how passive this game is when you see Baboka using Mass Serpent Wards to farm up a triple sack, just helping Sylar. Like, this man has lifesteal, he can do this himself, but instead they go for efficiency farming as opposed to pressuring towers. The tier 1 tower in mid has taken very negligible damage. The only tower they've claimed is up on top, and if we start thinking about Roshan, if we start thinking about OG going in there, these towers need to fall. So
Specifically,
but they're still trying to get Fenrir level 6.
Yeah, specifically level the tier 1 mid. This is OG had selection because they were a higher seed in this game. They chose Radiant. Pretty much every team in Dota is going to be choosing Radiant with priority. It averages about 56% win since 7.20, and it's just because primarily of the advantage you get around the Roche pit, especially if your tier 1 tower is alive. It's near impossible to contest that pit.
We have a smoke gank from Mushi and Baboka. It's the reveal of the Blink Dagger. So actually tossing in one, but Thompson, he already got the Tornado off Shadow Shaman. He'll get the Hex. No, he won't. The duel is out, but where's the follow-up damage? Jirax is there to ensure that Invoker could just survive through this. How do you battle against the Oracle? Not to mention the fact your initiation didn't work properly. Thompson's backing up, but here comes ILTW and Notel in through the rear with the Haste Rune. Aster, they just cannot run away from this. Tombstone will drop. Fenrir is going to try and turn around, trying to keep Mushi alive as much as they possibly can, but Mushi will still go down. Step is ready to fight. RP is available. They're going to get rid of the Tombstone and then focus on Fenrir. He's waiting it out, baiting out the RP, only catching the Undying. Not exactly what they wanted because Sylar is doing so much work as well. They need to kill him off. He managed to get himself a double kill up this fight, but ILTW under the tier 2 tower towards XSS. Feeling confident, feeling farmed as that troll with the completed SOY, but Sylar, he wants to find himself a better kill. Jirax will do it. A triple kill for Sylar. This is the Morphling Beast looking for another kill. Over towards Notel, but ILTW goes after XSS and finds the kill with the help of Notel, throwing up the colors of the rainbow. They have the damage to get through him.
You can see a troll is such a beast. You get, especially considering like Alacrity wasn't even a tool in that engagement. As the levels continue, as the gold and net worth increase for both these sides, you're gonna have this troll that's just got 3 methods of increasing his damage, whereas this morph, yeah, you can cleanse him, he'll get a little bit of an attack speed steroid, but it's just not the same, and it's also not increasing the rate that he's farming. ILTW is gonna look to grow probably by 100 or 200 GPM. Every single minute that ticks by, the troll will get stronger.
They're ganking again. Aster, 3 men moving forward. The smoke will break. Thompson sees them and instantly goes inside of his own Ghost Walk. They put down the Tombstone. They're dropping the sentries. They'll find the vision. But this is a smoke gank being wasted by Aster. They need to get something from it. The tier 1 tower on bottom lane is it. But look where OG moved. Right into Roshan.
The Radiant advantage. You invade the enemy woods as Aster. You're trying to make a play. But OG, I think they won TI. They sniffed this out. And it's just the simple mirror where Dire goes bot, OG is Radiant, go top, but there's a Roche pit there. So they're going to collect that free Aegis, and then they can look to engage.
Thompson, Mushi's just walking over. Baboka is nearby, but with a blink skewer, it's a chicken that's moving tiny back. Even with a shockwave, Mushi will get one quick toss off, but they move their targets over towards Baboka. Fenrir has to pop the Undying ulti, but where's the help? Baboka dies in the tree lines. They're getting more Spirit Vessel charges up. Fenrir has no chance to survive too. There's just no support that Aster can use to keep themselves alive and in control. Coming out of the pit, they didn't care. They brought Roshan down to 1/3 of his life. Aster was offering something better. Multiple kills.
They don't have the team fight. The Morph, Sylar's still trying to finish his E-Blade, but where's the damage? It's all burst. They don't have any way of dealing sustained DPS, And OG, like, they're throwing, as you said, No-Tail says taste the rainbow. Thompson throwing out spell after spell. He's got a Spirit Vessel finished.
God.
He might just kill, no, he won't kill him, but...
Mushi, what does he want to do here? He's going to toss Thompson back in, but Sylar can't fight. He got burned off because the Cold Snap disabled him. He couldn't just waveform away from the EMP burn, and it burns practically everything in the Morphling.
Remember, this is why we were thinking OD is the last pick, because when you go for this 10th pick, Tiny, he's turned into what feels like a third offlaner or second offlaner, and you have a Blink LC, a Brown Boots Blink Tiny, but they can't kill anybody. They don't actually have any way of killing Thompson and Jarex at the same time. And if you don't take them both out simultaneously, they're going to have easy turnaround. And that's not even counting Seb. He's got a Blink Dagger up himself. He can just wait and counter initiate. All you have to do as OG is combo break, and you're going to win every engagement.
They're hunting. Smoke up from OG, wrapping around. Blink in. XSS as she jumps into the middle of a pressed attack. If you split this fight up into two different parts, but they've already lost Fenrir on the side. Thompson just sold it up, and XSS under his own tier 2 tower with a double damage troll. They were definitely ready to find more kills, and they're going to do so. Top lane, Mushi. How many times will he get caught out? Spirit Vessels on him. There's the EMP burn. Down, bone dry on the Tiny. And Thompson will just slowly chip away. Seb will help out by clearing out the tree line. No more fog of war to hide in. And ILTW's already at the tier 2 tower in mid. He's going to get rid of this.
And OG just swarming around the map. And I'm not quite sure what Aster's play is to get back into this, because...
It's Sylar's E-Blade pop. They have to work with the disable of Bobica, and they have to work with the burst damage that comes in from, like, the dual control. Like, that's it, right? There's not much more to play with.
Yeah. Hey, I love the Diffusal pickup on ILTW. He's just going for raw damage output
with the avalanche, but then again, Blink Seb, he actually got in, dragging back Mushi. Once again, problematic. Mushi can't survive, slowed down way too much.
They have so much sustain. They're going to pop you up. There's the nade E-Blade on cooldown, and ILTW just hit the base, baby.
Yep. Took out the tier 3. Opens up the melee racks for attack. XSS, he wants to go in. He wants to duel and get something, but it's an Aegis Immortal Troll wall to get. The melee racks falls at the 20-minute mark, and Aster have no reply yet.
Every Alacrity is 100 attack speed. And, as he gets more points in Exort, it'll be more damage on steroid. You ever see a bodybuilder? Like, that ain't natural. You put up against somebody that's got to actually just make all those gains in the gym. It's going to be a similar comparison where this troll just pumps out damage. And
he's always in the right position. He's got such great range, too. He's not even, like, he doesn't even have a plus 50, 150 cast range, but with the Ether Lens?
Yeah, and I think the mark of what separates good from great teams, you see this with VP, you see this 10k ahead with a Rax advantage, and it feels like it's just over.
Oh, here comes Aster. They want to try and wrap around the side. They're looking for some kind of opportunity. Observer and Sentry reveals the Legion Commander. E-Blade pop, No-Tail. They have to wait for him to keep it to get the kill. They're able to do so. Seb goes for the solo RP in the backline, dragging back Baboka. So you can say goodbye to the Shaman. How hard can you push this still? Oracle will buy back. OG using this financial advantage they've got. They want to keep the pressure up. But Aster will also use their own money. Morphling back up, Shaman as well, but the Troll Warlord, he still has the Aegis, the Immortal. This thing is lasting forever, but not forever. 1 second, it's now out, the duel is there. Legion Commander trying to keep the control up, and they actually will be able to bring down the Troll Warlord just as the Aegis times out. But can they finish up more? Thompson being pushed back out by Sylar. He's actually done the work as this Morphling. He turned into Seb, became the skewer control. Speaking of which, he's in the backlines killing off Baboka again.
ILTW is on his way. He bought back. He's trying to close this out now. He'll be arriving in just a couple moments, and I think you got to get the hell out of here if you're Aster.
Does he still have enough support, though? Like, they just lost No-Tail once again. Thompson's still down. How does he always have a double damage rune?
Is it the third in this game?
It's, yeah. He had the bottle previously to ensure it was there at the perfect team fight moment. But what a great observer was. Just up on the hill. You kind of knew it was going to be there anywhere, but revealing the Legion Commander.
And there's the Purge.
Oh, Fenrir.
Yeah. I like the decision to buy back as well, just because the only way you're going to be punished in this 7-minute window is if Aster somehow threaten an extra objective, or two, really, because you aren't able to be but you're just going to chill. I think by the time Roche respawns, your cooldown will be back up, and even if it isn't, you can just play conservatively. Just pretty much don't get picked off right as Roche spawns. I think ILTW, even though he's a new guy, probably good enough to ensure that doesn't happen.
I'm just interested to see if Sylar can have more of a presence in the fights. Like, I know I'm already asking a lot considering he was the savior of Aster to keep that bottom ranks alive, but he's going for a BKB. Is this actually enough for him to stand in the fights against what appears to be overwhelming physical damage of the Troll?
Well, I think it's less about the damage OG does and more about how does Aster do enough damage to win engagements. That's my concern. You need the Dream initiation onto 3 different targets.
Thompson's found his target up on top. XSS caught inside the ice wall. He'll try and get himself out with the press the attack. Morphling pushed back by Thompson, who ensures he can just do everything he wants. Waveform forward, Morphling. Silas having to wait a little bit longer. Steps nearby, they RP. They want this Morphling down to be a huge one if they can claim it. Straight to Morph as hard as you want.
No buyback.
But with that death timer so long, 1.5 minutes without the Morphling.
And you can see
go up.
It's fruitless. Why? You can't go for targets unless you're sure Jerix is dead, controlled, or nowhere nearby. He just immediately pops his ult. There's no chance that you're going to be able to take out Thompson there. And because of the Oracle factor, now that, especially now that he has unlimited regen because he's got the Aether Lens, you don't do any damage. And if you don't finish these kills with your burst damage, they're full health.
Here we go again. Up to the high ground. Tier 3 tower doesn't stand a chance. Shaman's coming back. Massive wards are still intact at least, but look where Thompson's moving. Right in through the mid lane. He's looking for information around the side to find that initiation, while ILTW does everything he needs to, which is take the racks. Aster do not want to fight while the Morphling is down. In fact, they cannot fight while the Morphling is down. Tiny has done the long walk in through the rear, has an invis rune, so that's something at least they get. And if he can kill off Jirax, this may be one easy way to start off the fight. Hits him hard, they want to pop Jirax, able to do so. So the save is now lost from OG. There's a chance for them to fight, but the damage has been done so quickly by OG, they have to mass their forwards. Aster, they're committing to try and fight for Boca. Set up, it's a good tornado, just throwing and tossing around their Shadow Shaman. He's still got some one charges to work with. He waits out as long as he possibly can, still ends up falling, but Morphling will spawn in 2 seconds time. The range rack's the last building surviving for Aster inside the base, and OG's already retreating back out.
Dude, that's just beautiful to watch. Like, the awareness, everything done properly. You get the melee racks. ILTW then make sure he takes out the tombstone, so there's no lingering disable that would buy Sylar those precious seconds to actually enter the fight on respawn. They've killed the bottom shrine already, and they know that, hey, as long as we can get retreat to this the little square in front of the tier 3, you get behind that back onto your side of the map, which is now pretty much everywhere that isn't inside Aster's base. There's no way to be punished because there's no structure that you could be flanked from, and you just walk into the Roche Pit. Notel has found an Ursa and a Wolf. It just buff the carry. It feels like I'm watching a World of Warcraft stream where the
raid boss?
The main tank's got like 50 buffs on him and just smacks the big monster in the face until it dies.
Well, it's working for OG. Aegis Immortal once again in the hands of ILTW. They do have a cheese this time around that gets into the hands of Invoker. These fights have just been so continuous for OG. The hilarious thing is he's only got one Spirit Vessel because he's just popping it every single fight. Disabling Aster. They just don't have any kind of opportunity to engage. They're going to smoke up in their backlines, away from the Radiant Observer wards. Who's going to present themselves? What a surprise. It's Troll Warlord. It'll break the smoke on Fenrir. Here's the the pop already. The E-Blade pop from Sylar. They're trying to find that duel into the backlines once again. This time it's Magnus being attacked, but the False Promise will keep him alive. You do bring down Notel, but XSS will also die for that initiation. The buyback can come in from Undying, but you've already taken Mega Creeps. How much they get in return? Maybe not enough, because the RP from Seb hits the money. A quick skewer back. The Sunstrike will even connect. RTW will be able to get one more into the double kill, and this really is GG. Aster will call it. The game is done, and OG, a very slow start, but they knew their timing, and they nailed it.
Yeah. And you can see right there the beauty in the draft concept. You get initiation on both Magnus and Oracle, but there's still tops, and you immediately applies counter initiation. And this is an idea that OG's been using to win for years now. You combine a mega carry with methods of peel and damage support. So this carry just does more damage to the enemy team, and you have no real way of killing any of his helpers because they're friends. It's friend-only. It's just great to watch, and like that concept was just it's like watching a movie. You know what's going to happen. You know each OG's won. It just takes a little bit of time to get to the credits.
And so we need a change up, a twist in the storyline, because this isn't just a best of one. This is a best of three. Aster, they had some good things they could have potentially worked with in their draft, but OG, they execute theirs better. They follow through, and Aster, they need to find something else. So we'll see if it's possible. That's only game one. Game two is